Hello, everyone, and hello, Myles.
What's up, Jason?
Hey, Myles, if you're craving that flavorful food of Argentina, then I've got good news for you, Myles.
Tell me.
You can get your fix right here in Burbank. We are at the new Buenos Aires, a small, locally owned bakery and restaurant whose empanadas and cuisine are as authentic as the owners. And we can't wait to try it, trust me. But of course, we're here mainly for the coffee.
And to watch World Cup.
Oh, that's right.
Last week, I took you to a place with one TV on the wall.
Yes.
This time, 2 TVs on the wall, both showing World Cup.
So we have World Cup, empanadas, kids, and of course, coffee. Well, let's see how all that matches up.
Let's do it.
On another edition of Coffee Cafe.
Coffee Cafe! Coffee Cafe!
Welcome. We are 2 work-from-home dads who get together once a week to find the best coffee around. It's our meeting at the water cooler, a chance to have some great coffee and conversation.
And to follow the rules, Jason.
Oh, yes, the rules.
And now, since we're in World Cup, there's 4 rules.
That's right, the World Cup season of 4 rules. Go ahead.
No national chain. We've got to serve more than just drip coffee.
Yeah.
Burbank and surrounding areas.
Of course.
We can only visit the coffee shop once per year on official business.
And the 4th, a new rule is?
We have to be able to watch the cup somehow. So TV on the wall,
Yep.
or if we get desperate, we just a place with Wi-Fi, and we'll bring our own
I see
devices.
the rules are starting to adjust here.
Well, hey, I mean, Burbank's limited.
That's true.
I mean, this is pretty good, though, right?
This
We've
is
got
good. Yeah.
double TVs on the wall.
Well, why don't you tell us where we are so that everybody knows what we're talking about?
New Buenos Aires, 1723 West Verdugo, opens at 8. It's a cool little restaurant and bakery. There's a good-sized indoor area to eat. They serve empanadas.
Yeah, that's
They
their
serve
big thing
coffee.
here. I mean,
yeah.
and apparently that's big. Well, it's big in most Latin countries, but empanadas and they're delightful.
Empanadas, pastries.
Yeah.
A good coffee menu, too.
Yeah, they're known for that, and they're known for their cuisine. They have authentic Argentine cuisine, which like choripán and milanesa sandwiches. So if you enjoy the Argentine flavors, this is a place to come. And
If you're not
great
into
reviews.
coffee, they have mate here, which is an Argentinian tea.
Yeah, right. Have you ever had that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's good.
I've never had it. What does it taste like?
It tastes like it kind of tastes like matcha. It's earthy.
Oh.
You drink it through a straw with like a little sieve.
Is it sweet?
No, it's not sweet.
Oh, okay. And they have a full bakery here. They have the alfajor cookies and apple kuchen cookies. I guess that's how you say it. So yeah, I mean it's authentic Argentine, and I've never been to Argentina, but it feels like you walked into a place there. Is that? I mean, you've been there, haven't you?
Well, there's an Argentinian flag on the wall, so
But I mean, it just has that
Yeah,
authentic feel inside too. So yeah, overall, this is a pretty cool little place. But we're here to talk about the coffee, of course, Myles. And I was looking forward to having Argentinian coffee, and I did some homework before I came in.
what is Argentinian coffee?
Well,
Jason?
it's
tell us about it.
Let me tell you about it, Myles. It's very lightly roasted. Unlike the dark roasted espressos
So
that we're
lots of
used to.
caffeine.
Yeah, exactly, and very finely ground. And the cool part that I was reading is that they actually add the sugar to the grind.
Oh.
And so that when the hot water hits the grinds, it immediately dissolves the sugar, and so it comes right out sweet. But it's more like drip than espresso. But
Okay.
that's typical Argentine coffee. But then we came here, and I was like, oh, I'm ready to have some Argentine coffee. And there's like, no, we serve Italian coffee here.
Yeah, but couldn't you still have finely ground, put the sugar in the mix too? I mean,
I
lightly
suppose,
roasted.
yeah.
It could be.
Well, but Italian coffee is usually a darker roast. But still, it goes well with what we ate.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I actually went. I got double dip today.
Yeah,
I
you
got
did.
food. I got the cappuccino.
Yeah.
You know, so the cappuccino is usually a double espresso.
Oh, right,
There's
yeah.
steamed milk, and then it's topped with the thick layer of foamed milk.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And with this glass, it's like, the sundae case.
Yeah. Yes.
Sort of on the pedestal.
Yeah.
You can really see each of the layers in there.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And I had the Cortado, and it's very good. Cortado, for those of you at home are wondering, it's basically it's just espresso with some foamed milk inside that kind of reduces the acidity of it, but there's still enough coffee in there to taste that espresso. And it's delicious. She told me, I asked her what was one of her favorite drinks, and she said, oh, the Cortado is strong. And I said, sold. And it is indeed strong and very good, so I'm enjoying that. But before we get into all the great details and rating our coffees, Myles,
Yeah.
how are you doing? How's your week?
Doing good. I mean, since our last show,
Yeah.
the most important holiday of the year
Yes.
happened.
Oh, that's right. It did happen,
It
didn't it?
did, yeah. But also, I don't know if you noticed, but the world is on fire. Have you noticed?
No, I don't smell anything.
Oh, it's getting smokier and smokier. It's just, I know we have a lighthearted podcast.
Of course.
It's getting hard to ignore. We do talk about kids on the show.
We do talk about kids all the time. That's one of our
We might need a
things.
new segment called The Serious Corner.
Oh, we're going to have a serious corner? All right, well, I'm all for it. I think it's important when there's something important to talk about, we should talk about it. What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's just hard to ignore what's going on using a policy of cruelty to kids to discourage other parents from doing something is something that I think has been pretty disturbing, especially as a parent.
Yeah.
You read the news and you just kind of struggle with like feeling helpless and feeling super upset at the same time. Not a good combination of things.
It is. It's frustrating. I know that personally I get angry at sometimes when I read the separation of families and things at the border. It's just, as a parent, it's heartbreaking and unbelievable that anyone can do that. And obviously, I don't blame the Border Patrol or anybody like that. They're not the people to point the finger at. It's the policy that's in place right now.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with. I'll say when just kind of during the week, when you get your angriest and you still have all this work to do.
Yeah.
The ways that I've tried to deal with it are I donate some money somewhere.
Oh, that's a
and
great idea.
That's a little bit of relief.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you tried this, but calling politicians and just letting them have it.
Do you really?
Yeah, you get a good list of your least favorite politicians.
Okay.
And then, it's a drop in the bucket overall, but it's pretty cathartic. Among others, I gave Ted Cruz a piece of my mind this week. And I know it, I think overall when people call, they notice, and it's an effective thing when you get a lot of people doing it. But it feels pretty good to tell Ted Cruz who he is on his answering machine. I know I'll never listen to it, but I'm sure someone will probably listen to it.
I think that's a great idea, and I'm going to try it when I get home.
You should try it.
I should
when
try
you
it.
get when you're at your angriest,
Yes.
donate a little money.
Yes.
Call up Ted Cruz.
All right.
And just lay it on him. Well, the rest of Father's Day was good.
Oh, good.
Breakfast in bed is becoming a tradition in my house, and in my house, I think I've started noticing.
Yeah.
They bring a nice breakfast in bed. I think they're adding things to the tray
Oh,
that they want to eat because I get my breakfast, and immediately they start asking if they can have things on the tray.
Oh.
The juice. Like the fruit, if there's like something sweet on the tray, I get left with the bare bones that are on there.
So basically, here's breakfast in bread,
Yeah.
Daddy, but it's mainly for us.
Hey Mom, let's throw some cookies on there. And then they bring it, and then they know that they can get it.
Oh, I see.
It's becoming. I noticed there's some gaming going on in the system here.
Well, did you end up with eating anything, or were you just had an apple for breakfast?
I had some French toast.
Well,
it was good.
that's
it was fantastic.
Wow, congratulations! Yeah.
Went on a hike.
Oh.
The theme is World Cup.
Yes.
I've noticed lately at the house too, and a little bit on the hike. My 5-year-old slipped and fell, hurt his knee.
Oh.
And it's just Ronaldo all over the place. On Ronaldo being someone who's known for taking dives, and I mean he's also like the
This
greatest,
is a World Cup joke. Go
possibly
ahead.
the greatest of all time. But
yes,
he likes to draw a lot of fouls.
I see.
He looks like he could be chiseled out of stone, and yet you brush by him a little too hard,
I see.
it's just rolling on the ground in agony.
So that's happening at home. You're saying.
Well, you get like a scratch on the knee.
Yeah.
It's bleeding a little bit, and then you're limping around like someone just tore your ACL for you. And I've noticed too when the fights that are starting to happen, not serious fights, but the disturbances between the oldest and the middle.
Oh yeah.
The middle has started really using some European soccer moves, taking dives, crying a lot.
Oh, really?
Because I notice I come in, I start yelling at the older one, and all of a sudden the crying stops. It's just immediate stop
No
for
kidding.
the middle one, like he's just enjoying the
Did you
show.
pull out a yellow card or?
I'm thinking of starting to institute the card system at the house. But he's starting to play the refs a little bit, I can tell.
This is good. Okay.
It is pretty good. I'm watching them now too,
Yeah. Oh,
because
you are.
in soccer you get a yellow card if the ref knows that you're diving
Of
and
course.
you're trying to fool them.
Yes.
Then that can be as bad as actually fouling somebody sometimes. So,
All right.
What'd you do for Father's Day?
Oh, Father's Day was nice. As you know, I mentioned before in a previous podcast that my son was at Grammy's camp for 3 weeks and came back. And on Father's Day, he was back. And it was lovely to have him. I mean, yeah, it's Father's Day and the freedom was gone. But in return, we got our son back. And it was great to see him. He was excited to see us. And so, but when he got into the car, we got the hugs. And it was all great to see him. He was lovey-dovey. Everything was great. But he never wished me a happy Father's Day. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not important. He's there and it was
the
great.
Prodigal son didn't wish his dad a happy Father's Day?
No. But then when we got home, he went into his suitcase that he had taken with him, and he came out with some gifts. And then the happy Father's Day came because he was waiting for that moment. And he gave me 2 gifts. And I'll tell you, the first gift was right up my alley. It's he got me a dark chocolate bar. Now, whether he got that from the airport with Grammy's help, I don't know. But that's fine. Perfect gift.
Non-Hershey's bar?
Well, it was Hershey's, but it's still dark chocolate. So I'll take it. That's not a problem. But the cool gift that he got me was this. He essentially made this book. He hand drew the shape of a card, but it was many pages. And what he said is I wrote you a song. Kind of a songish poem, and I'm not going to sing it or anything, but let me just kind of tell you what it had inside here. So in the front it says all about Jason, the best dad, and that's a nice little gift. And this is all hand drawn, and then inside it says dedicated to Jason, and then it goes on. It says I love you to the end of the universe. And look, he drew a little universe, kind of here's the world, and then the universe.
The universe is right outside of it.
Yes, and that was lovely.
That doesn't look very far.
Well, that's okay.
How much love is there, really?
Okay, wait a second. And then he says, I love you. And then he told me a song to sing it with, but I don't want to hurt the audience. But it says, I love you all day. And then the next page is, I love
Just
you.
Today.
I hug you all day. I love you. I kiss you all day. And then it goes on to the final page, which just says, I love you. That was a lovely gift. And then what I said, this is the best gift ever, son. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang on to this so that when you're 15, 18, you're saying, I can't stand you, Dad, because you did this and that. And I'm going to pull this out and say, look, no. It says right here, son.
Yeah, there you go.
I love you. He thought that was funny.
It's going to be hard to break it to him that you're not the best dad, though.
Oh, hey, wait a second.
Someday I'm going to have to tell him,
No.
or he's going to notice.
Well, I can guarantee you.
Myles guy. Look at that.
I don't know, Myles.
Look at that dadsmanship.
We should get an audience to poll. Who's the better dad, Myles or Jason?
It's like Ronaldo, Messi, I think.
Yeah,
we're
okay.
talking. Although, speaking of Messi,
yes,
not having a good World Cup.
No.
Watching Argentina, I got to lower my voice, but watching Argentina does not bring joy. It is not a joyful experience.
No, and I'm not a big World Cup fan, but I did the homework, and this is the worst loss in 60 years.
60
Argentina.
years?
Yeah, 60 years. That's pretty big.
It looked bad, too.
Yeah, so it was 0-3, and Messi had a messy game.
Messi was not good. You can just see there's so much pressure.
I got to imagine.
He's not playing with happiness.
Yeah.
That whole squad, they just, the pressure's too high.
Yeah.
They're like they're jinxing themselves now. It's too bad.
It was sad. But so the experiment we had talked about, maybe you want to tell the audience that didn't listen to last week's show what we had
Well, I was trying to give you a few, you're not a big soccer fan, so
Yeah.
I was trying to give you a few key things to watch and try and get your son exposed to this, because if you want to continue being the best dad in the universe, there are certain things you got to just expose your kid to, and World Cup is one of them.
That's right. And you had given us a list of players to watch.
Yeah.
And some teams. And let me tell you, Myles, that was a great idea. Because when I approached my son, and I wanted to do this experiment to see how well it worked, I said, hey, son, let's watch some World Cup soccer. And I explained to him what World Cup soccer was and stuff. And he says, oh, I don't like soccer. It's boring. I was like, yes, but let me tell you about Mo Salah. And we watched some replays on YouTube, to see how cool he does it. And my boy was like, oh, man, that's amazing.
Oh, cool.
And it's like instantly clicked. He says, yeah, let's go watch it, and let's go root for Egypt. So we turned it on.
Nice.
And we watched.
Unfortunately,
we watched the game, and Mo didn't have that great of a game.
No, he didn't.
It was actually a pretty pathetic game.
Disappointing.
Well, but from what I understand, he was out, and he was just coming back in, and he just, it wasn't clicking for him. Of course, he's just human. But the problem also was that nothing happened in between. It's like lots of running. And for him...
You just need something.
He needs something. And he's like, this is boring. Do we have to watch the whole thing? I said, well, let's just keep watching Mo. And when he kicked the free kick and he scored the goal, we were all very excited. But then, again, another half hour of just them kicking the ball around, it just didn't do anything for him. So then by the end of the game, I said, well, what did you think, son? What did you think? He says... Yeah, that was boring. So the experiment failed, and I've tried to get him excited again with other games, but he's like, well, but do we have to watch the game, or can we just watch the highlights? So I've got him into highlights now, but I can't get him to sit down and watch a game.
Okay, that's too bad.
How's it going on your end? I know you were trying to do the same thing with your kids.
Oh, we're good. One of my oldest son will watch pretty much any sporting event that's on TV. So it hasn't been hard with him.
Oh, okay.
And then I get them each to pick a player on the team, and we play a little 2-on-2 living room soccer.
Oh,
so that's
living room soccer. How does that work in your living room? I mean, where's the ball go?
Well, it's going to stay low. It's not an actual soccer ball. It's like a foam ball.
Oh, a foam ball.
It's a special home version of the game.
I see.
If you want to try one more thing.
There's another tip. All right, here's another tip.
This is a coach to watch. The German coach.
Wait a second, a coach?
Yeah.
You think I can get my boy to watch a coach? Wait, I can't even say his name.
It's a fun name. Joachim Loa.
What?
You got to YouTube it. Make sure you're getting it right.
Okay, go ahead.
That might have been a little off.
All right.
I think he's toning it down a little bit, but he loves picking his nose and eating it.
Oh, well, now wait a second. This is right up your kid's alley.
I know.
I don't know if I can get my son.
We used it as a training video. They got a kick out of it because you can find like basically a highlight reel of his grossest sideline moments.
Oh,
because he's been coached for a little bit, and he's like a couple knuckles deep up there. He gets it and. It's not straight in. He rolls it into a little ball first, and then sort of toys with it.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's pretty gross. So do some scouting video on that, and then you can watch the Germany game. The benefit is Germany's good, and then when they show the coach on the sideline, everyone's on pins and needles to see what he's going to do.
They probably have a camera isolated on him, to capture those moments, and replay it in slow mo and everything. I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I, as a matter of fact, I think I could get my son to buy into that. So I'm going to give it a shot.
Watch the highlight reel first.
All right,
really get him fired up about it. So gross it is.
And your kids love it? They enjoy it, watching it?
My 3-year-old knows about this coach now.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
And? Is he watching with great enthusiasm?
Not yet.
Well, that's what I'm going to do, Myles. As soon as I get home, I'm going to show him that highlight reel of nose picking.
Just YouTube Germany coach
Got it.
nose.
All right.
Eat.
Delicious.
Booger.
And speaking of food and drinks, we're still here at the new Buenos Aires Bakery and Cafe, and we're having our coffees. And Myles, we've reached the time in the show where we rate our drinks. We use a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Myles, you had the cappuccino?
Yeah.
How is it?
I thought it was really good. I'd give it an 8.5. I said the presentation was great.
Yeah.
It was right temperature. It was
That's good.
delicious. It looked good. I thought it was well made.
Yeah, and I had the Cortado, and it's good.
Yeah, not sweet though, like at some other places.
Yeah, it's smooth. It's strong.
Suave, fuerte.
Fuerte. And it has a little sweetness to it too. I didn't put any sugar in it. But it didn't need it. It's just delicious. So I'm going to give this an 8.5 as well because it sounds like a good number, and it deserves it. I was disappointed that it wasn't Argentine coffee, but I'm happy that it's good coffee. So yeah, overall this coffee is very good. This place is unique. It's not crowded, but they do have the TVs. They fell into that rule, thank goodness.
No, next week is going to be 3 TVs. We have to go to a sports bar.
I don't know. We're gonna have to start doing a different kind of podcast. And but you walk into this place, it does feel like you've just gone into a little shop in Argentina, and it's just a delightful bakery and cafe that you should come by and visit. It's still a place to search out if you're in the area. So Myles gives it an 8.5. I give this an 8.5, and that's pretty much all we have to say about new Buenos Aires and Burbank. We hope you enjoyed our coffee podcast, and if you did, please subscribe and share it with your friends too. If you have any questions or even an idea for the show, you can let us know. You can hit us up on Facebook and Instagram as Coffee Cafe Podcast or Twitter as Coffee Cafe Dads, and check out our new website at coffeecafepodcast.com.
Really?
Really?
You didn't even tell me about this.
See? Thanks again for listening, and remember, we're here to hunt for the best coffee around so you don't have to. Until next week, enjoy the brew. See you, Myles.
Adios, Jason.